But what's going to happen right now is another story time with no limits. You know what? Since Ice Maniac got some votes last time, I'm going to read that story this time. So this is the story of White Flash. My name's John, a survivor of the Ice Maniac. Let's start from the beginning. I was driving home from work, and me being a 16-year-old boy, I had no idea what was going to happen. I hear sirens, and I pull over, but they weren't directed to me, they were rushing somewhere else. I had watched the police, ambulance, and fire department zoom by to where a crime had happened. Once they had paces, I pulled back into the lane and started my way back home. I turned onto my street, and I was shocked to see my house wrapped in police tape. I pull over to the side of the road and I run inside. I check everywhere, then I entered my parents' bedroom. It was such a horrific sight I wanted to throw up. My parents were on their bed, chopped up into a million pieces, and the room was a blood bath. They're dead, kid. I felt a hand on my shoulder, and I turned to see a shorter male with white hair and a trench coat. Even if you were like, just grabbed the kids by the shoulders and went, they're dead! That's basically the effect that has on them. Are you a detective? Can you tell me what happened here, please? I feel the monster of tears and cry in my throat. I just wanted to curl up and cry. They weren't fast enough, he says with a smirk on his face. How could he be smirking when the two most important people in my life were dead? I'm thinking of that as a catchphrase. Do you like it? Sure, but what? I tried to hold in a sob. What am I gonna do? I don't know, this ain't my problem, the teen had said, walking away. His words rang in my head for the next few weeks. Wait, the teen said that, not the detective? I had moved in with my aunt and uncle, considering they are my godparents. I barely came out of the room I was staying in. I laid in bed listening to music. When I was called down for dinner, I walked down the stairs and plopped in my seat. My aunt gave me a small smile. How you holding up, kid? My uncle had asked. To be honest, I wanted to start crying right now. I just looked at him. Come on, kid, please cheer up. I had smiled a small smile, and that changed everything. I sat up straight and smiled a stupid grin. For the rest of the night, we all spent our time laughing and joking around. At my bedtime, I told my aunt and uncle goodnight, and headed up to my bedroom. For the first time in a few weeks, I went to bed smiling. I soon woke up to the sound of something sitting on my bed. I shot up in my seat and looked at the young male, the one from the crime scene. Wait, you saw a male at the crime scene? Hiya, he says cheerfully. I gave him a puzzled look. How did you get into my bedroom? I asked, a little freaked out that a young kid was in my room. The window. I looked over to it and it shattered. I walk up to it and pick up a shard of glass, but it wasn't glass, it was ice. Yeah, he said get over it and it worked. I look over to the young male, and I look at his attire. He's wearing all white and a white jacket, but something I had noticed before was his red eyes. He had 2 swords on his back, and what looked like a... He had 2 swords on his back and what looked like an ice staff. Oh good, so he can do slashing and blunt damage. He's ready for his next D&D campaign. You killed my parents, didn't you? I asked with pure anger. He gives me a smirk. Yep, and it was the most fun I ever had, he said, giving me 2 thumbs up. My anger boils and I charge at him. He moved so fast I didn't have time to react. Oh my god, hold on. I have to change his voice. Super speed! You won't catch me! I turn toward him and I charge again. He's the white blur! I turn towards him and I charge yet again. This time he had hit me in the head and knocked me out cold. I'd soon woken up in the hospital. They did some tests and I was clear to go. Once I had gotten back to the house, I saw a note on my bed. It read, "Hi, John. Well, I had no choice, so I knocked you out, and you're feisty like your dad when I killed him. He had hit me with his bat, and it hurt anyway. I figured you missed your parents, so here's a prize to them. XOXO, Widow Flash." I opened the box, and it had a piece of meat in it. Then I realized it was an eye that belonged to my dad. When I saw the name White Flash, I had it in my mind, what if this turns into a Sonic thing? But then it actually did, and I am so sad.